The best way to predict your future is to create it. Abraham Lincoln said it, and we believe it. At Ridgemont, a series of events led us to the conclusion that we have a great power to influence the life of our community and world. Because our buildings were a century old and no longer a suitable environment for learning experiences, we campaigned for a new one. What first was a project to construct a new building soon became a project to construct a new way of doing business, a new way of thinking and believing, a new way of engaging our partners. We soon discovered that it was not sufficient to design a school around old beliefs and traditions, long corridors, and a single classroom dominated by a single teacher. The traditional model of school no longer fits the world, and as such, we discovered the need and the will to design a new vision for education. The vision of Ridgemont is designing the future. It is just that simple. Just as our architects were responsible for designing our physical space, so all of our staff members are responsible for designing engaging learning experiences and environments. And above all, the designing is to make learning irresistible. In order to design a future that positively impacts not just what happens inside of our school, but also the growth and development of our community, we have embraced instructional strategies that are most resemble life outside of school. Our building was designed to support these instructional strategies. At Ridgemont, you will see large collaborative spaces to support service and project-based learning. This type of instruction asks our students to learn the same standards all students in Ohio are expected to learn, but to do so through real-world problem solving. This is so much more meaningful to our students and our community, more than open your textbook to page 27 and answer the first 10 questions. Kids are making the world a better place today. No need to wait until after graduation. Students use these collaborative spaces to study and implement composting, to develop an archery program to provide meaningful after-school activities, to understand and teach others about where our food comes from, and to create awareness around hunger. These spaces allow our older students to become teachers and serve their younger counterparts. Collaborative spaces allow for outside agencies and businesses to become engaged partners in our learning experiences. The design at Ridgemont incorporates operable walls, furniture on wheels, and lots of glass to make multiple spaces accessible to teacher supervision and student freedom. This flexible design promotes co-teaching. Think about your job. Do you work in isolation? Probably not. Great thinking is collaborative in business and industry. The flexible design not only allows for adults to come together to create learning experiences, but allows us to deepen the actual learning by integrating multiple subjects and technology into everything we do. When solving a problem, adults outside of school never use math skills in isolation of science or construction principles. We don't write in a vacuum without rich content to inform our dialogue. These skills are meshed together, and we never think about them as separate. Shouldn't we teach our kids, our students, to think this way? And designing the future most certainly means that we help students to discover their passions, interests, skills, and their strengths. We differentiate for student readiness and passion regardless of a one-size-fits-all set of state standards. Some students work better in a quiet space. Some need to talk out loud to think clearly, and some need to move around. At Ridgemont, you will find the freedom to be any one of these students. You might see a student wheeling around in a chair during a class discussion and another one quietly working in a student office. You will find multiple job shadowing opportunities and projects created because of student concerns, not because of mandated curriculum. While one technology class learned the skills to script, plan, edit, and produce a lip dub, all of the students at Ridgemont became the cast and eventually the audience to see the final product. Where else would you see all classes suspended for 15 minutes? so 500 students could participate in a lip dub recording. And even better than all of the skills the technology students learned in the creation of the lip dub is the reason the students decided to do it in the first place. They were paying tribute to a community member who had dedicated his life to public service and deeply affected the future of our school through his generosity. When he passed on, students honored him and blessed his family because at Ridgemont, students produce work that masters the standards and impacts the world.